Hi, I'm Michelle, real estate expert with the Michelle Home Selling Team, and I help first-time home buyers and sellers save time, money, and I help make the process smooth. This is your July 2026 market checkup for Los Angeles, Riverside, Orange, and San Bernardino counties here in California. We're looking at residential single-family homes only, using last month's finalized numbers since the current month's data is still being finalized. All right, let's take a look. Before we jump into the numbers, let me tell you the story this market is telling this month. When I look across all of the charts together, what stands out to me is that buyers are still very much engaged, but they're taking a little bit more time to make decisions. That's creating a market that feels much more balanced. Homes are still selling. Buyers are still writing offers, but both sides have a little bit more time to think through their decisions. Let's walk through the charts together. Let's start with buyer activity. I always like to start with the first chart. This is showings per listing because it tells us if buyers are actually out there looking at homes. Last year, each listing had about 2.3 showings, and this year 3.2. So there's more showings per listing. Now let's take a look at the next chart, showings to contracts, and we're going to look at the average. It took an average of 9.3 showings before a home went under contract. That's a little higher than last month. Last month it was 8.3. Now, instead of looking at that as a negative, I actually connect it back to the first chart. Buyers are still looking. They're just comparing more homes before making an offer. To me, that's what a balanced market looks like. People are making thoughtful decisions instead of feeling rushed. Okay, so how is this affecting home prices? Let's look at this average sales price for Los Angeles County, $1.5 million. Compared to last year, home prices are down 3.4%. Now, here's where context is really important, because when we zoom out, home values are still holding at historically strong levels. So I don't look at this and think prices are falling. I look at this and see a market that's becoming more balanced. For buyers, that can create opportunities, and for sellers, it reinforces how important pricing your home correctly has become. Okay, are sellers still getting what they're asking? Let's see, 99.5%, up 0.3% from last year. And it's very similar to last month and also very close to where we were a year ago. I actually love this chart because it tells us buyers still recognize value. When a home is priced well and it shows well, buyers are still willing to pay very close to asking price. And we're seeing healthy negotiations, not dramatic discounts. And that brings us to inventory. What type of market are we in? Los Angeles County is sitting about 3.8 months of inventory. So we are still in a seller's market, but we are going towards a neutral market. Let me bring up, for those of you that know that have been watching these market updates, you guys know what I'm about to bring up, but I want to bring this up for the people that are new to this channel. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Okay, so months of supply also equal what kind of market we're in. Are we in a seller's market, a neutral market, which sometimes is called a balanced market? So you're going to hear those terms, or a buyer's market. So look, seller's market is 1 to 3 months of inventory. A neutral market is 4 to 5 months of inventory. And a buyer's market is 6 months or more of inventory. So Los Angeles County has 3.8 months of inventory. Okay, so basically what this means is in Los Angeles County, if no realtors put homes on the market and they just sold what homes were currently on the market right now, it would take 3.8 months to sell everything. Okay, so we are in a seller's market, but it's really leaning towards a neutral market. Like it's almost there, and it shows in the numbers we just looked at. So that was a quick explanation of that as we move on to the other counties, I'm not going to bring this up, but I did want to explain that. And if you want to listen to this again, the explanation again, you can just rewind it back to this point. Okay, so where is that inventory coming from? We're going to take a look at new listings and active listings. Okay, so starting out with new listings. New listings were a little lower than they were this time last year. They're down 8.5%. Let's look at the active listings. Active listings also remain below last year's level, so they're down 14.2%. When I connect those two charts, I don't see a flood of new homes hitting the market. I see sellers continuing to enter the market at a measured pace. That's helping keep inventory relatively balanced. All right, now let's look at sales activity. We're going to look at pending sales and closed sales. Pending sales are also lower than they were last year. They're down by 15.6%. And let's take a look at closed sales. Closed sales, on the other hand, actually increased compared to last June by 7.4%. Sometimes people wonder why those two charts don't always move together. Remember, pending sales tell us what's happening right now. Closed sales tell us what buyers decided several weeks ago. When I look at both charts, I see buyers moving forward. They're just taking a little bit more time before making that commitment. All right, last but not least, let's take a look at the pace of the market. Days active in the MLS, and let's take a look at average. Homes averaged about 32 days on the market in Los Angeles County, and that's very similar to both last month and last year. When I look at everything that we've seen here, the showings, the inventory, the pricing, it all points to the same story. Homes are still selling, buyers are still active. The market is simply moving at a healthier, more balanced pace. Okay, so for Los Angeles County, what does this mean if you're buying or selling? If you're thinking of buying, I think the market gives you something buyers haven't already had. Time. Not unlimited time, but enough time to compare homes, to ask questions, and make thoughtful decisions. And this is exactly the sweet spot, honestly, that we really want to be in. If you're selling, buyers are still out there. They're just a little bit more selective. Pricing your home correctly and presenting it well are more important than ever. Here's my take, because if I had to sum it up for Los Angeles County in one sentence, it would be: the market is rewarding preparation over perfect timing. One thing that I always remind my clients is that every market creates opportunities. The key isn't trying to perfectly time the market. It's understanding the market you're in and having the right strategy for your goals. Okay, Riverside County, you guys are up. Let's talk about it. Real quick before we dive into the numbers, when I look across all of these charts, because I did look at them before making this video to prepare, the story that stands out to me is consistency. Buyers are still active, inventory has continued to grow at a healthy pace, and home values have remained remarkably stable. This doesn't feel like a market that is slowing down. It feels like a market that's giving buyers and sellers a little bit more room to make thoughtful decisions. Let's see how the numbers tell the story. I always like to start with buyer activity because it gives us an early glimpse into what's happening even before we look at prices. Okay, showings per listings. This one came in at 3.9 this month. That's up from last month and up 34.5% compared to this time last year. So buyers are definitely shopping in Riverside. But here's the interesting part. Let's go to showings per contract. It took an average of 10.2 showings for a home to go under contract. That's also higher than last month, but also 31% higher than a year ago. So to me, that says buyers are taking their time. They're looking at more homes, they're comparing their options, and they're making more thoughtful decisions before writing an offer. And I'm also seeing that myself when I'm in the market with my clients as well too. So for buyers, that's actually encouraging because we know you have choices in Riverside, and for sellers, it means presenting and pricing matter more than ever. Okay, let's look at home values. The average sales price in Riverside County as of June 2026 is $755,000. That's up 0.3% from last year. That tells me home values are holding steady rather than making dramatic moves in either direction. Sellers are also receiving, let's go here to original list price, 97.5% of what they asked for, their original list price, which is slightly higher than last month. So there is a little bit of a discounting happening in Riverside. Now let's take a look at inventory, months of supply. 3.8, same as Los Angeles County. Okay. Months of supply is down 22% from a year ago. New listings were also slightly lower year over year, down 9.1% from last year. And let's take a look at active listings. They have come down as well too, 21.8%. So for buyers, we see that there are still opportunities, but waiting too long on the right home may mean missing it. And for sellers, less competition can have a nice advantage if your home is well prepared for before it hits the market. Looking at overall market activity, pending sales were down just a little bit. They're down 3.6% compared to last year. Let's look at closed sales. Closed sales are up 7.4%. This tells me that transactions are still happening. Buyers haven't disappeared. They're simply moving with a little bit more intention. Days on the market improved by 6.3%. It's taken on average about 45 days to sell a home in Riverside. So while homes may not be flying off the market overnight, the ones that are priced well and show well are still finding buyers. What's up, Orange County? Before we jump into the numbers, here's the story this market is telling this month. What stands out to me in Orange County is that it continues to be a market where quality matters. But today's buyers, they're not rushing and they're expecting value. When a home is priced well and shows beautifully, it gets plenty of attention. Let's take a closer look. Okay, let's start with buyer activity. Showings per listing. Last month, homes averaged 3.1 showings per listing, which is 4.8% higher than last year. That tells me buyers are definitely out shopping. Demand is still there and people are actively looking at homes. Okay, let's take a look at how many showings to contract. How many people looked at a particular home and then that home went into contract? Let's see, 6.5 showings, and that's down 1.5%. So buyers, while they're looking at more homes, they're also taking their time to compare options before writing an offer. If you're a buyer, that's actually a healthy sign. It means people are making thoughtful decisions instead of rushing. But then when the right home comes along, they're willing to make a move. Okay, let's talk about pricing. The average sales price in the OC is $2 million, up 3.3% from last year. Okay, let's see if homes are selling for the price the seller is asking for when they just initially put that home on the market before any price reductions. 98.8%. So this number is up just slightly from last year. So that means that homes are selling at a little bit of a discount in Orange County as a whole in the month of June. Okay, let's shift over to inventory. Where are we, Orange County? Dun, 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 3%. Okay, so we are right at the edge of a seller's market. Orange County is still in a seller's market, has not tipped over to that neutral place, but it's been there, and it's been there for some time. Let's just take a quick look. So December of last year, 2.1, and it's been slowly going into more of a neutral market. What is this right here? July 2025, 3.7. June 2025, 3.7. So it was actually at more of a balanced neutral market last year. So if we're going to look at it from year to year, it's more of a seller's market this year than it was last year. I guess it's perspective, right? Because look at the trends. Real estate is seasonal, and we're looking at real estate in the now. So we are at a seller's market. Let's transition to new listings. Okay, new listings are down 3.2% year over year. Active listings, they're down 18.3% year over year. What that tells me is that while buyers are still active, we're not seeing a flood of new homes come onto the market in the Orange County. In Orange County, inventory remains relatively tight, and That's one of the reasons prices have continued to hold up so well. Now, let's see how all of that has translated into actual sales. Let's start with pending. Pending sales are down 9.4%, showing buyers continue to put homes under contract at a steady pace. And let's take a look at what has closed. Closed sales are up 12.1%. Okay, to me, this is one of the strongest indicators in this report. It tells us that buyers aren't just browsing, they're actually following through and closing on homes. Okay, let's take a look at the days on the market. How long is it taking to actually sell a home in Orange County? 27 days, which is 3.6% faster than last year. If I had to sum up Orange County in one sentence, I would say the OC continues to be a market built on confidence. Buyers are thoughtful, sellers are still seeing strong values, and quality homes continue to stand out. Okay, let's take a look next at San Bernardino County. San Bernardino, where you at? You guys are next up. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's start with buyer activity, showings per listing. The average number of showings per listing increased to 3.3, up nearly 27% from last year. That tells us buyers are staying engaged and are actively looking at homes. Average showing to contract. It also took about 9.1 showings to reach a contract, which is up more than 26% year over year. At first glance, that might sound like homes are harder to sell, but it really reflects today's buyers are taking a little bit more time to make an offer. They're comparing options and negotiating more carefully and making informed decisions. And that's exactly what we'd expect to be in a more balanced market. Okay, let's talk about home prices. What is the average sales price in San Bernardino County? $609,000, and it's down 1.5% from last year. That's a very modest change and really points to price stability. Okay, percentage of original list price. Look at that. Sellers are also receiving 97.9% of their original list price, almost unchanged from a year ago. So yeah, San Bernardino County as a whole, those homes are not selling for what the seller is asking for. There's a little bit of a discount there, but also could we say maybe the homes are priced too high? Is it a discount? Or are they priced too high? For those of you that are currently in the market and you're looking at San Bernardino County, let me know in the comments. You know, for buyers, this creates opportunities to negotiate. And for sellers, it reinforces the importance of pricing strategically from the beginning, right? Okay, so let's move over to inventory and supply. Let's start with months of supply. Wow, this has been moving up, you guys. 4.6 months, up nearly 18% year over year. Let's keep watching this, okay? I cannot wait till next month. I want to see if San Bernardino County goes into a buyer's market, because you remember in the prior months, San Bernardino County was in a seller's market. Let me look back. Okay, I remember right here, December 2025, when we looked at the data, seller's market, and we were like, okay, it's toggling over. And then yeah, January was 4.0. It's been going up. So buyer's market is 6 months plus inventory. It's definitely going up towards that direction, but it's still low. So we'll see what happens. We will be watching. All right, new listings came at 2,000, down 9% from last year. Active listings, 5,620. Even with fewer new homes entering the market, active listings have climbed almost 18% higher than last year. That means homes are simply staying on the market a little bit longer, giving buyers more choices without creating an oversupply. Well, that makes sense. We are in a balanced market. Okay, let's look at sales activities, and let's start with pending sales. Okay, pending sales, 1,115, down 13% compared to last year. Let's look at closed sales. 1,349, just up over 3% year over year. That tells us buyers are still moving forward and transactions are continuing to close, even if new contracts have softened a bit this month. Average days on the market, let's take a look at that. 46 days to sell a home on average in San Bernardino County. So for San Bernardino County, for buyers, this market offers something we haven't seen quite in a while: more inventory, less competition, and a better opportunity to negotiate. You still got to be prepared when you do find the right home, but you don't necessarily have to rush into every decision. For sellers, today's market rewards preparation. Homes that are priced correctly, professionally marketed, and presented well are still attracting buyers. The biggest mistake I see isn't a lack of demand. Honestly, it's unrealistic pricing. Today's buyers have options and they're willing to wait for the right value. One thing I do appreciate though about San Bernardino County is how resilient this market has been. Even with higher interest rates and changing market conditions, people continue to buy and sell because life keeps moving forward. And honestly, within the 4 counties that we covered, we know that San Bernardino, you get really more bang for your buck in that county. It's so affordable. Families are relocating, first-time buyers are entering the market, and homeowners are making moves based on their goals, not headlines. It's about having the right strategy for where you are today. Even though each county does have its own personality, none of them point to a market that is stalled. Instead, they're showing us a market that's becoming more stable and more predictable. For buyers, again, this does mean that you have more opportunities to compare homes, to negotiate when it's appropriate, and to make decisions based on your long-term goals instead of feeling rushed. For sellers, today's market is all about strategy. The homes that are well prepared, priced realistically, and marketed effectively are still attracting serious buyers. Real estate has always been local, and that's why looking into the data county by county helps us understand what's really happening, not just relying on national headlines. If you found this video helpful, hit like, share it, and subscribe to our growing community. To my subscribers, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. I love seeing you here. Check out the links below for free resources, current listings, home value tools, buyer and seller guides. Everything is down below. I'm Michelle with the Michelle Home Selling Team, and I'm here to make understanding real estate simple. Wishing you an amazing week.